rocking with a little ghetto gospel.
Those who wish to follow me,
my ghetto gospel,
I welcome with my hands. And the red sun sinks to last into the hills of gold. And peace to this young warrior without the sound of guns.
if I could recollect before my hood days, I sit and reminisce, thinking of bliss of the good days. I stop and stare at the younger, my heart goes to them. They tested with stress that they under, and nowadays things change. Everyone's ashamed of the youth, cause the truth look strange. And for me it's reverse, we left them a world that's cursed, and it hurts. Cause any day they'll push the button, and all good men like Malcolm X and Bobby Hutton die for nothing. Don't it make you get teary, the world looks dreary. When you have your eyes, see it clearly. There's no need for you to fear me, if you take your time to hear me. Maybe you can learn to cheer me. It ain't about black or white, cause we're human. I hope we see the light before it's ruined. My ghetto gospel.
Those who wish to follow me,
Ghetto gospel,
I welcome with my hands. And the red sun sinks to last into the hills of gold. And peace to this young warrior without the sound of guns.
tell me, do you see that old lady? Ain't it sad? Living out of bags versus glad for the little things she has. And over there, there's a lady, crack got her crazy. Yes, it's giving birth to a baby. I don't trip and let it fade me. From out of the frying pan, we jump into another form of slavery. Even now I get discouraged, wonder if they take it all back. Well, I still keep the courage. I refuse to be a role model. I say go, stay control, drink out my own bottles. I make mistakes, but learn from everyone. And when it's said and done, I bet this brother be a better one. If I'm upset, you don't stress, never forget that God isn't finished with me yet. I feel his hand on my brain. When I write rhymes, I go blind and let the Lord do his thing. But am I less holy? Cause I choose to pump a blunt and drink a beer with my homies. Before we find world peace, we gotta find peace in the war in the streets. My ghetto gospel.
Those who wish to follow me,
Yeah, ghetto gospel.
I welcome with my hands. And the red sun sinks to last into the hills of gold. And peace to this young warrior without the sound of guns.
Lord, can you hear me speak? Pay the price for being hellbound.
The virus has completely devastated over 150 of the world's major regions and is spreading rapidly. At this point in time, we know of only one method of killing the creatures, to destroy the brain. Be on the guard of any loved ones who may have recently been in any sort of contact with the infected. And if you find yourself in a threatened position, please do not hesitate to act. Again, this is not a test. This is not a joke. We as a species are overwhelmed. We are outnumbered.
The world is broken. We are the last choking embers of a fire waiting to burn out. Long before our grandfathers and their fathers before them, we started pulling our planet apart in the name of progress and blind ambition. The greed of man has devoured this earth until there was nothing left. We watch as time eats us alive. A generation born to witness the end of the world.
It's just playing that stupid feedback sound. Shit. Hello? Oh, man, I hope that wasn't all fucked up. Jake, how long was that going on for? I really want to maybe restart this. Let me see, guys. If you're listening live, I'm so fucking sorry. How long? Sorry, guys. Hold on. So what it was doing, Kevin, is the microphone was playing feedback, so it was just this constant like thing.
Yeah.
And that explains why I saw the thing bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down, thinking, oh yeah, it's just us talking. It wasn't us talking, Kevin. We fucked up. I hope we didn't fuck it up too much.
We done goofed.
If anyone's listening on the chat, you should definitely chime in. How long was that going on for? Should we continue this podcast, or should we stop, delete, and then restart? That's what I want to know. So what do you think? If not, continue to listen, because we may stick with this one.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
we'll just keep talking until we get an answer back from one of these fuckers. So what were we talking about?
Pride TV.
Pride TV. So we did that, and you and I did this thing called Skills USA. Oh, hold on. He commented back. Let's see. I just tried to tune in, and then it started making a weird noise. Not sure if it's me or... Okay, sorry. We're going to continue on this podcast. It's fixed now. Okay. We're good. So Pride TV, you and I did Skills USA. Skills USA, for people who don't know, is kind of just like one of those FFA type things, but for technology. You can you compete in certain
traits.
Yeah. So like you can do digital artwork, you can do
But I mean, they have everything. Like they even have like shit for like construction and plumbing and all kinds of stuff. They have like it's literally for any trade out there that you can think of. It's like there's competitions for it, and you can like place, there's like different placements for it, and if you place in the top 3 in your category, then you got like a year scholarship to Salt Lake Community College.
So weren't we supposed to get one or something weird like that? I swear.
Yeah, but there was some long bullshit like thing you had to go through to get it, and it wasn't really worth it. So
fuck it.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, we competed in that. We won 2nd place in the state for news broadcasting. So I was an anchor guy. You were our what was it called?
I can't remember.
You were like the finger pointer guy who said,
I lined the camera up, and then like
hand signals, and you let us know to wind it up, extend it out, wrap it up, all the above. You were the floor manager. Or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, anyways, we kicked ass.
We'll make it
we should have won,
yeah.
because the first place winners, the judge was their teacher. So that was rigged right off the start. But anyways, we still won. Jake, what's up, man? Thanks for saving our ass with that thing. Sorry, guys. So going on, podcast, it's just going to be a fun conversation. You and I, we're just going to talk about the blast from the past. We're going to hit up your cancer here in a second.
I'm down.
Feel free to share stories, ideas, things, anything. I mean, but if there's something off limits, let me know.
Okay.
If you don't feel comfortable, but
I'm
it comes
a wide
up.
open book, man.
Okay, good.
No worries.
So, fucking, that was great. We had fun. We've always known each other since then. Then I remember the first day that I met my wife, which at the time was my girlfriend. Actually, at that day it wasn't. Like that was the first time we've ever met in real life. Was on my birthday. At Texas Roadhouse, which you came to, and then we went to that other place. Was it 2009?
No, 2011.
No, it was 2010. Because
No,
you're right.
No, it was because
you're right. Yeah,
it's 2011 because I remember when we met up at Texas Roadhouse. Like we were talking about the whole possibility of me having cancer and stuff. And
so you were feeling. So what happened was Kevin. I went and picked him up from his house, and he was telling me like my lips got numb, like my body kind of all went numb, and what else?
Well, not my body,
guys. I'm filling in shit. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, so your lips went numb. What else were you feeling?
Basically, it's a long story, but like at that point, what was happening is I was basically like getting weird bruising all over my body, and I was having like severe joint pains. Mm-hmm. But at the time, I was working full time at Lowe's, and I was in the millwork / lumber department, so I was constantly lifting shit, like, bumping shit. Yeah, I was constantly lifting like drywall, lumber, exterior doors, all kinds of stuff. So I thought like the sore joints were from that, and then like I was also playing basketball after work 2 to 3 times a week, and the bruising, I just figured it was just from going hard in the paint, you know. So,
Yeah.
going hard in the paint.
I hear that. So you just thought you were getting bruising from just life, just bumping into shit. And when you're saying bruising, like were they big bruises?
Yeah,
and
they
stuff?
were. Yeah.
Did that ever set you off, or you honestly just thought it's from
No,
basketball life things?
Yeah, just basketball and life. And I actually, one morning I woke up and my right hand wasn't numb, but it just was tingly. Mm-hmm. And then it hurt really, really bad, and I just got severe bruising on it. And one of my managers thought, at work, thought that I broke a bone in my hand because it was so swollen and so bruised. And so he actually told me to go get it checked out, or he was going to take me off the floor. And so I went out to just an Instacare doctor, and he looked me over, and he probably just thought I was some punk kid trying to get pain pills or something. But I just told him, my manager sent me out here. My hand's just been hurting. I'm getting weird bruising. And he pretty much told me to, grow a pair and get over it.
Really?
Yeah, he just told me to, get
That's
over
fucking
it.
Instacare for you. By the way, Jake's from Australia, so he doesn't exactly understand this. So Instacare is like this quick little place. It's kind of, sometimes they're open 24/7, but it's not like fully going to the hospital. It's like a mini doctor's office that you go into real quick in and out. You don't go all the time. But
it's just for a
sometimes,
quick thing.
Yeah,
It's just because I was
the hospitals
literally
rape you here.
Yeah, well, it was literally just because my manager, I was
said.
getting ready to actually leave for lunch, and he said, you need to get that checked out, or I'm going to take you off the floor.
Sure.
And put you as a cashier, which is a huge pay cut. I didn't want that. So, yeah, basically, I didn't schedule an appointment with my real doctor, who the funny thing is actually scheduled in that same building as Instacare. Mm-hmm. But I didn't go, schedule an appointment with him. It was actually just one of the, I don't know, a quick see doctor. You just go see him real fast, and then they send you on your way.
Sorry, we have a question real quick from Jake. Jake is asking... Oh, fuck. Hold on, my foot got stuck in the mic cord. Jake asked this. Pretty much he just says, I have a pretty interesting question relating to the cancer topic. Obviously, you beat cancer's ass, so congrats. What do you think about the theory when people say cancer is a $150 billion industry and there's a reason why we don't have a cure? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I've actually, one of my managers at work right now, she's going through cancer as well. And she's beat it and stuff.
She's beat it before, but she's going through it again, or she's doing what you...
it's that's a whole different story. It's just, that's a whole different story.
Okay.
But anyways, we were talking about the whole cancer thing, and I asked her about that. Because I've thought, yes, there's a cure, but at the same time, I also believe cancer is I don't think there's a definite cure for it.
Take this, it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's true. I mean, some people might call me stupid or whatever, but
you're okay.
Honestly,
you know more about it than we do.
No, I honestly think what causes cancer is what's in our food. Because
Oh, you're good.
It's just because basically I was talking to my manager, and she because she said the same thing. I asked the same question, and she basically said the same thing. No, I don't think there's a definite cure because there's so many different types of cancer, but I think humankind just keeps just the way our food's processed, everything like that. I think we're causing the cancer by ourselves, so therefore there's no 100% cure for it because
it keeps evolving.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole I can tell a story about that.
Do you want to go into it right now, or is that something we can lead to in a minute? Or what do you think?
Either or. It's basically I met a really good, one of my really good friends.
He agrees with you, by the way. He just says that he believes that the food is causing it.
Yeah, it's all the damn hormones and everything. I totally believe it because when
and the pesticides
exactly.
and the fucking, is it called, I don't want to call it Montezuma, but that company that owns certain grains, and you have to use this corn. If you use that corn, you're in trouble.
There's so many
the weirdest thing about corn is, think about this. I don't popcorn too, I guess, but when you eat corn, one of the causes, he says.
Yeah, I mean, there's hundreds and there's billions of things that cause cancer.
Sure,
but because like Jake, I agree with you 100%. But like, I mean, but like the way leukemia happened to me is like it's not even like cancer does not run in my family. Leukemia is a blood cancer, so it necessarily like.
It's not caused from, hence, like a lung cancer from maybe cigarettes.
Exactly, because what my doctor
it's in your blood.
Yeah, basically what my doctor explained to me was basically everyone in this world has cancer cells in their body. But just depending on that person, something sets off those cancer cells to reproduce, and that's when we actually test positive for cancer, and it becomes life-threatening.
Sure.
So, I was diagnosed with leukemia, and like cancer does not run in my family. You can't provoke, like you can't get it from like lung cancer, how you can get it from cigarettes or something like that. Like, yeah, leukemia is just basically I drew that card. Like, I don't know, it could be anything. I mean, it could have been from when I was working at Lowe's, like because I was lifting like concrete bags all the time, so it could be like concrete dust I was breathing in. I mean,
you don't got a fucking clue.
There's no, and the doctors they'll never know.
That's crazy. It's kind of scary too, because how do you prevent it? You really don't know. Because again, you don't know what to avoid.
Yeah, so there's like, I mean, you can do all that like healthy eating, don't eat sugar, that's how my manager right now, how she beat cancer. She didn't beat it through chemo. She beat it through healthy eating. So, I mean, there's stuff like you can help prevent it, but there's like, I don't think there's a way to like necessarily prevent all types of cancer from what my doctor told me. Like, because everyone has the cells in our body,
it's the luck of the draw.
Yeah, it's just,
but it seems more common now. Like, compared to years ago and stuff, you don't hear about certain people dying from cancer all the time. And it's either two things. In my idea, it's obviously caused by something. Maybe it runs in the family. Maybe it runs in all kinds of stuff. Maybe it's in our fucking food. Maybe it's whatever. And I think also the fact of it's kind of I don't want to say placebo that can create it, but it's that worry. It's kind of, I don't want to say the law of attraction, but everyone's hearing about it, everyone's thinking about it. There's breast cancer over here, breast cancer awareness there, it's fucking leukemia here and there, and everyone's hearing about it, everyone's got it, talking about testicular cancer, and it's just all over the place that everyone's worried about 24/7, that maybe, I don't want to say they're attracting it, but they make their body, I mean, the brain is fucking the strongest thing in the entire world. We have no idea how strong our brains are, but to the fact that maybe we open ourselves to be more fuck it, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that, but just more open to becoming more weak, more oh crap, Kevin got it, so I'm probably gonna get it, or this happened, or this, and you become more open-minded to it, that your body says, well, okay, put those walls down, because this is something now that he believes. Now, I don't want to say that happened in the past, but, polio, right? You hear about someone having polio now. I mean, obviously we have a cure for it and stuff like that, but back then, everyone got fucking polio. I mean, just people were dying left and right, shit was going crazy, all kinds of stuff. And that was that thing. Now it's cancer. What's going to be the next thing, It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows what causes it? Here's the thing. There's so many. Testicular cancer. Then there's that. You have leukemia. Then there's breast cancer. Then there's fucking this. Then you can get it from radiation. You can get it from fucking food.
It can be also like the whole air quality thing.
I think that's true too.
Yeah, like
I know that 1 out of
I'm not saying
5 babies here in Utah are autistic, and they're finding that. They're assuming and doing studies now, but they're believing that it's from the air quality here in Utah.
Yeah.
Which, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
How do we fix it? Obviously, electric cars and certain other things, but those fucking, that place out in PG, the smoke places all over Salt Lake City, all these, it needs to stop. Like, this shit is a joke. That's my thoughts.
What do you mean by smoke plates?
Like, there's that place out in PG, I think it's over by the dump. Every morning I drive to work, and the only thing I see in the fucking sky that actually
I thought you were talking about like
steam,
the vape
maybe, but
stores or something.
Oh, no, not that shit. I could give a shit less. I think that's the dumbest stuff to get into. But, yeah. It's those fucking vape cigarettes, I'll tell you what.
God damn it, people, why?
I wouldn't doubt it, though. If it's smart. If the government wants to do it, they just drop some in each one of those liquids, and then people get fucked.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I mean, look at cigarettes. How stupid is it? Here is a thing that's guaranteed to at least fuck up your life in so many ways. It has poison in it. It has all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
It has zero benefits to your health. Doesn't make you do anything better. Doesn't make you feel any better. And the dumbest excuse I hear from everyone who smokes is, oh, it calms me down. You know,
Exactly.
cigarettes. It calms you down because you're fucking addicted to the nicotine, and you need it again when you get that nicotine buzz, and you don't have it, and then you're starting to trip out. Of course it calms you down
Yeah.
because you're feeding that addiction. So of course it's calming you down.
But
Again, I'm not hardcore into it, but of course it's going to calm
Also,
you down,
like-
you idiot.
also what I've heard in the past too. I mean, like, there's always people out there who have like smoked for like 40 years and nothing happens to them, no cancer or anything. So that like with that whole cancer thing and smoking and stuff, like it makes me believe more what my doctor said, saying like everyone has cancer in your body, but certain things just
We'll feed to it.
We'll set it off. Maybe like some people can smoke for 40 years and don't.
No, you're right. And you're
don't
right.
feel a damn thing. Like nothing happens to them, and you know, good for them. That's great, but you know, for other people, you know, that cigarette smoke can cause the cancer cells to react, and
Sure.
so that's what that's why I believe my doctor, just because like she pointed that out, and
No, it's a great point. And
actually, yeah,
it's you know, I can't say I don't know enough about it to really comment too much, but yeah, I agree, man. I think it's just certain things are going to set it off. It could be yourself, your mind. It could be the fact that, you know, who knows, man. People can
probably
make
just a
themselves
combination
sick.
of
I mean, just
everything.
think about girls that, you know, maybe miss their period. Anyone. You can make yourself have the symptoms of pregnancy even though you're not pregnant because you're believing you're pregnant. There's all kinds of stuff. I know people that have cured themselves simply by, you know, certain things. But another thing I want to get into is THC, marijuana. What are your thoughts? I know that there have been tons and tons of studies proving and assisting that saying THC
That
and
is, like,
certain
a
things
good topic.
that can
I'd love to
cure,
hear.
not 100% cure, but it can definitely assist to either eating,
yeah.
curing, helping the cells, kill the cells and replenish more cells. There's tons and tons of studies on it.
From what I've heard, I've never heard of it. Like, I could be wrong, but like I've never heard of it like killing cancer. But I just never looked.
There's been
into
some
it.
new studies on some.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm not going to say I know I'm an expert by
Yeah,
any means,
like,
but I've read some studies that apparently can kill off certain cancer cells and replenish more of the positive cells. Here I am, fucking positive cells. I think it's white blood cells or red. Who fucking knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it does something that helps assist the body in certain ways. And also, here's the deal: if I'm going out, say I'm going to die, they give me 1 month, 3 months, 1 year. Fucking, they say that's it. That's all you got. We're sorry, man. We've tried. We can do radiation. That might extend to a couple months, but you're going out.
Yeah.
I'd fucking smoke weed every day. I don't smoke weed right now at all. I haven't. I've tried marijuana probably 5 times my entire life. It's been a long time. I have nothing against it. It's a damn plant just like a fucking salad and lettuce. Like, it's just a plant. And they all have cures. Mushrooms on a pizza. It's food. It's edible. It's also a miracle. I don't want to call it a miracle thing, but it's got fucking all kinds of cool stuff that you can do with it. Clothes,
Yeah.
shoes, fiber, paper, fucking everything and anything.
Yeah.
Protein. It's got amazing
I've-
protein.
Like, while we're on that subject, I've tried it. It actually did help me a little bit through cancer. Like, there was a time when I lost so much weight that the doctors actually
From chemotherapy.
From
correct.
chemotherapy, yeah. So I lost so much weight from chemotherapy, or
And chemotherapy, explain that real quick for people.
chemo.
It's fucking poison.
It's the worst thing.
So explain chemotherapy for you. It's a needle, right?
Oh, what?
It's the needle? Like, I mean,
No,
you
so
it's an
basi-
IV to you, right?
Well,
what was yours?
I had this thing called a power port that was imported on my
That's right.
left pec.
Do you still have that?
I still have it.
Okay.
Yes, because right now I'm in the maintenance phase of chemo.
Uh-huh.
So I go in once a month. It's very low dose. Basically, like, I can live my full life now.
Sure.
But at this, like,
At the time when you were receiving hardcore chemo.
hardcore chemo. What a port is, it's a thing that's implanted into your body, and there's a tube that leads straight to your heart. And when they inject the chemo, they pierce the port with a needle. They pierce the port with a needle, and then basically they inject the chemo through a syringe, and it goes straight to the tube leading to the heart. Obviously has the chemo in it, and it leads straight to the heart, and then it's pumped through my body a lot faster than just through a standard IV, which you can do chemotherapy through an IV. But since my diagnosis was leukemia, and the best way to get rid of my particular leukemia was 3.5 years of treatment, And it's easier just to do a port, because then they just access that port every time. And then that way, you know, they're not like piercing my veins 24/7, and every time I go through chemo, they're not, you know, piercing my veins over and over again, and I'm getting collapsed veins, and I'm getting trace marks like a heroin addict. And so it's basically just the port's an easier way to receive chemo if you're doing a long-term treatment.
And so how did THC work for you?
So basically through chemotherapy, I lost so much weight that the doctor...
Dude, you were skinny as fuck, I remember.
Yeah, like, I'm a skinny kid to begin
Yeah,
with.
you already were, yeah.
Yeah, like, before I started chemo, I weighed 140 pounds. Mm-hmm. When I went through chemo, at my worst, I was 110 pounds. I lost that much weight in a matter of weeks. I just lost it immediately because chemo made me so sick. But at my lowest point, the doctors were getting afraid of me losing too much weight, and they suggested to put a feeding tube up my nose. And, you know, it's a tube that goes up your nose, down the back of your throat, and into your stomach. Because, I mean, obviously you're not eating a lot because you're throwing it back up. So it's a feeding tube where overnight you hook this feeding tube up to a
What's
bag.
like in it?
Protein, everything that food gives you. It has like protein, energy.
Why the fuck can't I just get that? Like, I want to kill my appetite. I want to lose weight. Give me a fucking feeding tube, man.
No, you don't want a feeding tube.
I know.
Yeah. No, but like, basically it's kind of like the easiest way for me to explain it. It's like a protein shake that has everything that your body needs to live off of. And, you know, while I was sleeping at night, we'd hook it up to the machine and it would pump it into
Could
my
you
stomach.
feel it like dripping down your throat, or how does that work?
There was a cold sensation down the back of my throat. I could feel it, but, you know, over time you get used to it. But anyways, back to the whole THC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so back to that. I got really depressed when I had the feeding tube in, because I would try to go out in public and people would just stare at me, look at me, and it hurt my feelings big time. And so I would just stay inside. I got really depressed, and I told myself I'm never gonna lose that much weight again and go back to a feeding tube. Well, months later, you know, I get it taken out. I had it in for I think a month to 2 months, something like that. After I got it out, you know, I told myself I'm never going to go back to a feeding tube. Mm-hmm. And there was a time I just wasn't eating. Like, I just started losing weight.
Like the appetite, just dead.
Yeah, dead. Like, it just my appetite was dead. I didn't want to eat, so I started losing weight again. And the doctor said, you know, if you get down too low, we're gonna have to put on a feeding tube back on you. And I didn't want to go back. So I've watched shows on like how marijuana can help people going through that. So I tried it, and it made me eat. And then also, like, I had really bad insomnia, and it helped me sleep. Yeah, it helped me sleep big time.
Good, man.
So, like, I felt normal again. Like, I could think clear, like, because I was so well rested, I was getting my energy back. I was actually eating. Like, people were actually saying, like, yeah, man, you're looking good. You're looking good. And I was feeling better.
Marijuana, huh?
Yeah, I was just happy because I had my energy back. I could go out and see my friends again.
Good. I
could, like, when I'd look in the mirror, I could say, like, I'm getting my old self back.
Sure.
You know, because I'm getting my weight back, and I would feel great. I would just feel amazing. And that's not when I was high. Like, this is like after.
Oh yeah.
Yes, some people out there probably.
How long were you partaking of THC? Would you say month, 2 months? I mean, so hey, did your parents have a clue about this at all?
I finally came clean and told them.
Oh, but at the time they didn't.
No.
So you did this all on your own. You're like, I can't go back to that feeding tube.
Yeah, I just like.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah, I just did this on my own because I kind of knew, like.
Well, it's your body, it's your life,
and
it
like,
worked.
My mother, I love her to death. She's done some amazing things for me, but I think she'd have a kind of a hard time like accepting that fact. So that's why I just kind of took it on my own, which now was a dumb idea. But you know, eventually,
it saved your life in a way.
I eventually came clean. Like, I told my parents everything, and you know, it ruined a relationship with my girlfriend at the time, which is, you know.
But to be honest, it worked out. You learned something about her, and we won't even talk about her.
That's a whole different story in itself.
We won't get into that.
But, but I mean, she's a great person still, you know.
She's a great person.
Yeah, she stuck to me through great times.
I was going to say, man, if it would have been probably any other girl, dude, they probably would have bounced a long time ago. And you got to give that girl credit.
Yeah,
she's a badass.
She's amazing, and I don't know. Yeah, but that's a whole different story. Anyways,
but
I don't necessarily think it was. Yeah. Anyways, back to the marijuana thing. Like, yeah, I wasn't doing it all the time, like consistently. Like I would do it, and then I'd start eating. Then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can just get going back. Like if I can get my appetite back going by myself. And it started. It started going down, and I'm like, shit. And then I would try it again, and
Did doctors ever talk to you about it or anything like that? Or no?
Nuh-uh.
I didn't know if it like pop up in. I doubt it would, but maybe in a blood test. But
I
guess you have to test for it.
Well, every time I go in there, they check my blood, but they're not testing for drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing blood counts.
Yeah.
So I figure, I was just like, okay, let it go, whatever. Shit happens. If they confront me about it, I'll come clean. Like, I have nothing to hide.
I mean, what are they going to do?
Yeah, like, slap me on the wrist. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would say for about maybe a month, 2 months, I was off and on doing it. That was a long time ago. Like, that was...
But it worked for you, man.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, and then, like, now, I don't need it at all. Like, my appetite is 100% back. Yeah. But, yeah, like, it did help me through, though. That, like, was a huge thing. It definitely did help me through...
That's incredible.
A rough time, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's good to hear a positive story. And that's just for anyone who fucking is talking shit on marijuana. Listen to this story. You know, and so many other stories out there. It's a damn plant, man.
Yeah, but then there's also people who take it too far and just do it just to do it. Yeah. I mean, if you want to do it, that's great. That's awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
But
just don't be a lazy person. That's what I hate. Yeah, I don't care if you smoke.
Just
don't be a piece of shit in life. Like, do something with yourself.
Exactly.
And don't complain that you don't have any friends.
Like that.
No, of course not. There's so many people that smoke marijuana, but I can name a few off the top of my head that have done nothing with their life. And I'm not blaming marijuana, but they just resort to it. It's much easier just to get high than do something else. It's just like, well, I could just get high.
Yeah.
And that's fine. If they're in their own little world and they're happy, there are those people, and maybe there would never, maybe if it wasn't for marijuana, they would still just do nothing. So either way, I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it works for you medically, and I do believe in medical marijuana. I do believe in recreational. Whatever you need.
I totally believe in it
I think it helped depression. I think it helped a lot of people, man.
It helped my pain too.
Yeah.
Good,
man.
Because chemo causes a lot of pain.
Fucking dude, it's straight poison. I had no idea, but Accutane is the smallest dose of chemotherapy. So Accutane is a thing that completely supposedly can kill off acne for kids. And you cannot get it if you're pregnant. Like every month you have to get tested. If you're a girl, you have to get pregnancy tested. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's the lowest form of chemotherapy in a pill version. And I had no idea about that. I'm like, oh, that's what... No wonder it's fucking killing acne. It's killing a lot of other shit too, man. That's dangerous stuff. So going on, you found out about all of this. How long has it been? So it was that day that we had found out about it. The next day.
Well, no, what happened? Because like going back to like the whole your birthday thing in 2011. Basically, I'll start from the beginning. I was having those weird bruises. I had the joint pain, which is a huge sign of leukemia. Actually, the lymph node under my left armpit was swollen. And at the time, I didn't know that was a sign of cancer. I didn't know.
Lymph node. So was it? Explain it. Like, was it a bump?
It's a bump. Yeah. So there's lymph nodes in your body. There's some like under your jaw.
Sure.
There's some.
You said under your armpit. So what was it like under your armpit? Like
it was just directly? A small. Yeah. It was just like
Was it like bulging out or was it?
It was just like you could
feel it.
It was you couldn't see it, but you could feel it.
I think I've had one of those ones, but I hope not. Maybe it goes away.
If you
I don't.
But
I think I was allergic to the deodorant, honestly.
Yeah, so it's not in the armpit; it's just below. Like that's just it's
sure. Okay, I don't know. Fuck, man.
Yeah, but
is there a way? Do you know if there's a way to get tested just for the fact of just to find out?
I'm pretty sure you can go to a doctor and just say, "Hey, I just want to know." Like, they could run a blood test or something.
Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure.
I got a blood test recently and stuff, but it was mainly for hypoglycemia because for my entire life, my parents told me I was hypoglycemic, which is just like, if I remember right, low blood sugar. So, it just pretty much is like close to diabetic,
Yeah.
but not all the way there yet. Like I'd crash hardcore and all. Anyway, so my entire life, here's another idea of the whole kind of the placebo effect, this whole thing that I believed, because my parents told me since I was a young kid, oh, you're hypoglycemic. Never got a blood test, never whatever. My parents just went to the doctor, and my dad was hypoglycemic, and they just said, oh yeah, he's acting like this and this, which is just a normal fucking kid who had an attitude once in a while, because I barely ate here and there. I was a picky fucking eater. My parents just, the doctor just said, oh, well, he's probably hypoglycemic then. And that was it. So my entire life, I had to eat this certain diet. I had to eat a lot of sugar. I had to, not a lot of sugar, but I had to, crackers and beef jerky and this and that. So the diet was completely out of whack for really what was going on is I wasn't hypoglycemic and was completely eating fucked up. And anyways, got a blood test done a few months ago and found out I'm not hypoglycemic at all.
That's awesome.
Everything's fine with me, so I'm fine. But I was just like, there's another thing right there. It's just believing it. And so my body started to react to it, and I believed it. And so when I crashed, I was like, oh, it's got to be the hypoglycemia. I blamed it on everything else to get all the blood work done. I'm not fucking hypoglycemic at all. I'm normal.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's
so going on, there's tests that you could possibly do if you want to.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure of those.
But you can go to a doctor if you think possibly. I'm sure there's a test.
Yeah. There's definitely a test. But anyways.
Go on.
So I had the bruising. I had zero energy whatsoever. Like I would sleep for hours, and I'd wake up and I'd still be tired, and I never had energy at all. And then one day, I went to bed one night, and then my lip just went numb. Like just my lower lip. Yeah, my lower lip. A portion of it went numb. Just like it's on the left side. Like it's hard to explain over the podcast.
Is it kind of like getting
just a little,
your teeth worked on? And,
exactly. Yeah. So it's not the
numb?
whole. It's not my whole bottom lip. Basically, from the middle of my chin to my left is numb.
Gotcha.
So that's basically, and it's still numb to this day.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's still numb. Basically, just because
it died.
Yeah. What they think is the leukemia cells attacked that cranial nerve. And it killed that nerve. But it could come back from years. It can all of a sudden come back in like 6 years from now. The doctors say, the nerves are just kind of, it can all of a sudden decide to work again, or it could be 100% dead. But, if I, So
do you become, does it now feel normal-ish?
Yeah.
It becomes normal to you now?
Oh, yeah. I don't even know what's there.
Oh, okay. So,
okay. Yeah, I've been dealing with it for, over 3 years now.
Yeah.
But anyways, it went numb, and I thought, okay, that's weird. That can be explained through basketball or work or anything. And I figured, we'll let it go by for a couple of days. And, a couple of days went by, and it still was numb. So I told my mom, and she said, okay, how long has it been going? And so I told her it was a couple of days, and she said, okay, we're going to actually make an appointment for you with your actual doctor. So I went, and he was puzzled. He did not know what the hell to think. He tried all these tests, and I'm like, I can't feel a thing. And he was baffled. He did not know what to do. So he thought, well, it could be possibly a brain tumor, but he thought that was highly unlikely, because if it was a brain tumor, then my whole left side of my face would be numb. Sure. And so he didn't, he's like, well, we're going to start with the big things, get the big things checked off to make sure it's not that, and then we'll work our way down. But he said, this is the first time I went in to see him, and he said, let's just run a blood test just to see. So he ran a blood test. And then a day or two later, I went in a couple days went by, and like a week, like he scheduled an MRI for my head to check for that brain tumor. Mm-hmm. And, a couple days went by, and I'm working, and then all of a sudden my dad calls me through my work phone, and he said, your doctor just called me. You have to go back out there right now and get another blood test. And I said, is everything all right? And they just told him they just want to make sure. Like, they found something wrong. They said, there's an off count with, your white blood cells, but my dad didn't seem, he wasn't worried about it. The doctors still didn't even know it was cancer. Yeah. So they tested me. And so I went back out there. They drew another blood test. Then a day went by. And then the next day at work, same thing happened. Like, I get this phone call saying you have to go back out there again. So I went back out there, and this time they said, the nurse was telling me, okay, this time there's an off count, but they were really positive, and they said, there's an off count. It could be cancer, but we're not sure. So basically, this is the actual test. We're gonna draw your blood, and this is gonna be actual test for cancer. Mm-hmm. And the nurse asked me, like, what if it is cancer? And I was just like, it's not.
The nurse asked you that?
Yeah, well, like, as I was getting checked in, like, she was taking my weight and everything like that. She's like, what if it's cancer? And I said,
what the fuck do I know? I don't know. If it is, you tell me. You're the nurse.
Yeah, I was just like, I literally said, I'll cross that bridge if it comes. Like, I just said, I don't know. I was so confident it wasn't cancer because I literally thought it was, like, they were testing for, like, that brain tumor. So I was just like, it's like, because they didn't even say like leukemia was an option or anything. So anyways, I get home from the blood test, and my dad, he's kind of stressing out because I didn't know, but his best friend is a nurse on Life Flight. He's like a head nurse on Life Flight, and he's been telling, like, my dad was telling him all my symptoms and everything like that. And he actually said it's probably leukemia, but wait and see what kind of leukemia it is.
Wow.
And so I was shocked. He didn't know, or I didn't know if like leukemia could be an option. So my dad told me, he was just like, yeah, what are you gonna do if it could be? This could be cancer. And I said, Dad, it's not, because I still, at that time when I came back from that last blood test, I thought, they're testing for the brain tumor. And I was like, Dad, it's not a tumor. Like, it's fine. I am fine. And the next day, I went in really early in the morning for a brain scan. And later, like, as we were going through, the nurse called that night and said, hey, after your brain scan, the doctor wants to talk to you. But she told me, he does this with all his patients. So I was like, okay, it's a routine thing. But I didn't know at the time, they found out I had leukemia, and that's the real reason why they wanted to pull me in and talk. So I went and got my MRI done, and after that, we're driving up to my doctor's office, and we walk in there, and it's May 24th, 2011. And we're sitting there, and I actually remember the time he told me. Like, we were just sitting there in the office. It's me, my mom, and my dad. My mom and dad are way nervous. Like, they looked like they just saw a ghost. Like, they were extremely nervous. And I still had no idea leukemia was an option. Like, I still think like, we're just here for the brain scan thing. And he comes in, the doctor comes in, and he had a look of like, oh shit, on his face.
Like, he hates his job right now.
Yeah, he's just like, he didn't know what to do. Like, he sat down, he's like, okay. Basically, he sits down, he looks at me, and he says, your brain scans came back perfectly normal. So I was like, oh, okay, great. Like, I was right. Like, 100%. Like, I feel fine.
Exactly.
And then he said, but those blood tests that we did, we have a positive confirmation that you have, it's called ALL, pre-B ALL leukemia, which stands for acute lymphoblastic leukemia. They said, yeah, you have pre-B ALL leukemia. And I was like, what? And my mom busted out into tears. Like, it was at 11:15, May 24th, 2011, that he told me. And 11:15 a.m. Excuse me for that. Yeah, I look over at my mom, and she's bawling. She just lost it. And my dad looked at me with the biggest, like, my dad doesn't cry. He's an old-fashioned man. Like, he does not cry. And he started to tear up, and he looked at me like, what? Like, he looked at me like he didn't want to believe it. And I still was, like, time stopped for me, because I was like, wait, what? Like, I didn't even know leukemia was an option right now. And the doctor said, leukemia is a blood cancer. He's like, you have cancer. And then that's when, like, I literally just started to shake. I lost it, started crying, because I necessarily wasn't crying because I got diagnosed. It's the amount of pain I saw in my mother's eyes.
Yeah.
That's what set me off. Like, I've never seen her, like, yeah. it's hard to explain, but like time stopped. I can still remember everything so vividly. And he told me, basically, he said, the next 3.5 years are just going to be treatment right now. He said it's going to be a long, tough road, but we're going to get through this.
Yeah.
That's what my doctor told me. And I said, oh, how early into the cancer am I? Like, what's going on? Like, I need to understand more. He's like, I'm not the cancer expert, but I got you hooked up with a doctor at the University of Utah. He said she'll tell you more about it, but basically all I know is you have leukemia. If you decide not to treat this, you have 6, maybe 9 months to live. And that's when I was like, holy shit. Like, that's when shit hit the fan for me. Because like my whole life I've been a healthy kid, like really active in sports, like.
Sure, yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm being told, like, you have 9 months to live at the most if you don't do anything. And I was just like, what the hell? So I started bawling, and my mom and my dad were crying, and like my doctor, he started tearing up, and he patted me on the back and said, we're going to get through this. He said, you have no other choice. We're gonna beat this. And when he told me I had cancer, I had a calm sensation, like saying, like, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I had a very calm sensation, like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. I've never thought once I'm gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never thought once I was gonna die. But I had a very calm sensation. Like, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. But I was still distraught, so I was crying.
Sure.
And yeah, it was crazy. So on the way home, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to tell. And Jake Allred and Caleb Allred, like at the time, like, I mean, they're still like my best friends. Like all you guys are.
Yeah.
And Jake at the time was at work, and we both worked at Lowe's, and he was so worried, and I called him. Like, even my dad said, don't tell anyone at work right now. Don't tell anyone. But I literally called Jake. And I said, dude, I have cancer. And he was driving a forklift, and he stopped. And he told me, dude, you don't fuck with me right now. He's just like, don't. Like, he's like, I'm having a bad day at work, man. Don't fuck with me right now. And I said, I'm not fucking with you. And I started to tear up, and he's like, are you kidding me? I said, no, I'm not kidding, man. And so I started to tear up, and I said, dude, I don't know, but I gotta go right now. I don't know what's gonna happen. And so he was just distraught. And so basically I went home, packed my bags, because the doctor said, you're gonna spend he's like, you're being admitted into the hospital today. And at the time I was like, oh shit, well, I gotta fucking work tomorrow,
Yeah,
sure. I was like, fuck, I gotta work tomorrow. And I was just like, I was worried about chemo, because like, this is gonna be hilarious to all you like hunters out there, because like when I found I was diagnosed, one of the first thoughts that ran through my head was, fuck, this is gonna put a big damper on duck hunting season, because that's my favorite thing to do. And yeah, and like that was my biggest worry at the time. But yeah, so that brings kind of a little,
that's funny,
comic thing to it. And yeah, so I go home and I'm packing all kinds of clothes. I have no idea how long I'm going to be there. Neither of us, or my whole family has no idea. When my brother, it was a couple days before he got out of school, and he was still in school. So I don't know how, when he found out, I'm pretty sure my dad or mother told him. Anyways, my dad, before we headed up, he went over to my work and talked to the manager and said, Kevin can't come into work. He's been diagnosed with cancer. And like everyone, because I was extremely good friends with everyone at Lowe's, and from what I heard, like the managers were trying not to tear up. Jake was having a rough time. I was like texting all my friends there saying, I'm not gonna, some bad stuff just happened. I've been diagnosed with cancer. And everyone didn't believe, like, they were just like, what the hell? And I remember, like, Yeah, just texting everyone. I like texted you, and like you, and I still have the pictures that you texted me. It was that guy at Texas Roadhouse that has Down syndrome.
Yeah,
and like he was just like he all of a sudden became like our best friend. Like
Yeah.
he just wouldn't leave us alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you started texting me like all the funny pictures and stuff like, that we took with him and stuff, and so I still have those pictures to this day.
Fuck yeah.
And like I remember you saying like, "Hang in there, man. I love you," and everything like that, and like it meant so much to me. It still does. Like, yeah, like all the support like my friends have helped me through. Like, it's a huge help.
Can't imagine.
Yeah, and my friends and family. You know, like
Yeah.
like I remember like just I mean me and my mom were down in my room. Sorry,
No, you're good, man.
just tearing up a little bit,
It's okay.
but sorry.
You're okay, Kevin. You and your mom were down in your room?
Yeah, and I looked at her and I said, "Mom, I've never been so scared in my life. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen." She hugged me and said, "It's okay, sweetheart. Like, we're gonna get through it." And we packed up all my things and we went up to the hospital. And on the way up, like, my friends are calling me, my family's calling me. Like my Uncle Jamie, my dad's brother, he doesn't cry, and he called me in tears. He said, "I'm gonna come up and see you tonight." And just everyone was calling in tears, and we were just bawling on the way up to the hospital. And we get to the hospital, and you know, like the nurses, like it's like primary children's was so great. You know, it's at the University of Utah. It's for where children are being, you know, are being treated for all kinds of stuff. But my leukemia is a childhood leukemia, and I was diagnosed at 19, which usually I'd be too old for a childhood hospital, like a child hospital.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
since it's my type of leukemia is a childhood leukemia, like it's a childhood cancer, they sent me there because they have the best treatment for it. So, I mean, I remember like just like walking through the walking through the entrance and going through the main, through the main lobby, and like we didn't even know where everything was at. So I mean, we were asking like the security guards, like, "Where's the floor, you know, that you have to be checked into?" And they said it's the third floor. And so we went up, and I mean, the nurses and the staff were so great because immediately as when we walked through the elevators, when they opened up, they looked at us and said, "Are you Kevin? Are you Kevin Schott?" And I said, "Yep." And they said, "We have your room all ready for you." And I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And
Dude, you had some pretty awesome nurses. I remember visiting you, and they were way funny, and they came in, they were way cool.
yeah, I had some amazing nurses. Yeah, they were. I mean, some of them were pretty good looking. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure,
it made it easy.
Yeah,
it made it really easy.
Always.
But yeah, no, I walked in there and like they had my room ready. So they were taking my height and weight and everything, and they said, "When were you diagnosed?" And I said, "Earlier today." And they were all shocked because they said, "That's amazing," because people usually don't know for people do not know for months and months and months, but like, you know, today, and you're here today. Like, they were just blown out of the water.
That's awesome, though.
And so I started like meeting everyone that was going to be on my team. I mean, so many doctors came in, and it was insane. I was just meeting all these doctors that were like on my team, and like, you know, this doctor's going to do this and this doctor's going to do that. I was just like, I can't take this right now. Like, I don't just talk to my parents. Like,
Yeah.
And I, my parents went out and we were talking to everyone, and I just remember sitting on my bed, and it was peaceful. And I just am sitting in my hospital bed, you know, when I first got in there, and I'm just like, what the hell? I don't know what to do. Like, I just sat there and I was like, I've never been so scared in my life. Never been so scared. And the nurses, you know, like everyone came in, and like, then I met my actual oncologist, which is a cancer doctor. And, you know, I met her, and, you know, she finally told, like, you know, we caught the leukemia very early. Like, she looked at the blood test that they sent that what do you call it? My family doctor.
Yeah.
The family doctor sent over to her, and she didn't think I had cancer until she looked further into the test and said, okay, yeah, get him up here today. And so, like, yeah, she told me, like, we caught it very early. And she told me the whole, like, thing, like, on it, like, you know, like, I would think since I was a teenager at the time, like, yeah, I got a good chance of beating this. And she said, you do have a good chance of beating this forever, but your age is playing against you. Because with this kind of cancer, the older you are, the more chance, the more likely it's going to kill you. And I was like, what the hell?
You don't fucking tell me that.
Yeah, no, but but I told her, like, I want you to tell me.
Give it to me straight.
Give it to me straight. I don't want any bullshit at all. And, she told me, like, you have a 68 to a 75% chance that you're going to beat this. And
I'll take those odds.
Yeah, I was just like, that's great. Like, yeah, I'll be fine. And, you know, she said, you know, the type of leukemia you got, you should be, you know, like, don't be grateful you got cancer.
Sure.
But that type of leukemia I had, she said, be very grateful that you got that kind of leukemia, because it's the most beatable type of leukemia out there.
Great.
Because she said, I mean, because there's like, I mean, there's ALL, there's CLL, which is, it used to be terminal. Like, if you got it, you were screwed. There's AML, and that's like I could be wrong, but that's like a 10 to maybe 40% chance you're going to live. And I got the one that gave me the best odds to live.
That's crazy, man.
And she said, basically, like, the day that I was, you know, admitted into the hospital, she said, tomorrow you're going in for surgery. You're going to have your port put in, and the, you know, like I said earlier into the podcast, what the port is. And she said, you're going to have your port put in, and then you're going to start chemo that night if you can come out of the anesthesia well. Mm-hmm. I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't know what to do. And she said, eat up now. She said, because once you go, like, you can't eat past 12. And so I, like, 12 midnight. And so I remember that night, I just ate so much food. I just pounded the food. And I remember that next day, like, I never had a major surgery. Like, the worst thing that ever happened to me was, like, having my wisdom teeth taken out, you know?
Sure, okay.
And I remember just sitting there, like, fuck, I have surgery today. And, like, now thinking back on it, like, it's such an easy surgery. Like,
it's the craziest thing, because you worry. I grew up watching ER with my mom. She's like, watching, and you just see the blood and the crazy and the drama and cut this and fuck move, all this crazy shit. And I'm like, oh fuck. Yeah. Then I had to get a thing down my throat and had to do some tests on my throat and my stomach and all kinds of shit. So anyways, that was my first. It wasn't even a surgery. They never cut anything, whatever. But when you get knocked the fuck out, like, you get knocked the fuck out. Yeah. You don't realize you're gone. Like, you are gone. And time flies, man.
Yeah, like, the biggest fear I had was...
Feeling it?
Was, like, I've heard horror stories where, like, you're asleep.
Yeah.
But you, like...
But you're awake and you can't say anything about it?
Yeah, you're awake, but, like, you can't move. But you can feel...
Could you imagine that?
Like, you can feel every
could you
cut.
imagine that?
And so I was just like... I was tripping myself out, man. I was just like, oh, fuck. Like, no... And I've got, like, a couple aunts and uncles there. I got my grandma and grandpa. I got everyone there, and I'm really close with my mom's dad, my mom's dad, mm-hmm. Grandpa Howard. And because me and him love to fly fish and stuff like that. And I remember, like, going in, and he was the last person that I said, "Wait, stop." And like my grandpa had tears in his eyes. And he said, "You're gonna pull through this." He's like, "I have faith in you. You're gonna pull through this." And you know, he took my hand and said, "You've got this." He said, "Be strong." And I just said, "I love you" to everyone, and went into the surgery room, and one of the doctors like grabbed my head and said, "Calm down. You're gonna be fine." And the next thing you know, like, I just, this mask was put over my face, and I'm fucking out.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, like, I'm waking back up in my hospital room, and like, when I was coming through, man, my mom said I was ornery as hell.
Really?
Like, yeah. I was coming through.
That's how Mikkel was.
Yeah, I was ornery as hell. Like, I just like freak out, just like, "Don't fucking touch me." Like, I was just getting all upset, and like, I like laying down on my back, and I remember the nurse saying, "Kevin, you can't lay on your back because if you throw up, you can choke." She's like, "Roll over on your side." I'm like, and then I just remember saying, like, "Don't fucking touch me, I can do it." Like,
really?
Yeah, I was just
That's awesome.
so upset. And then I just remember like just sitting there, I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw up." And then they leaned me up, and they had the puke bucket in front of me, and then I just like, "No, I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna throw up." And then I like lay back down, and then I came through, and like when I was fully
out of it,
and like out of it, I was just like, "I'm sorry if I was a dick."
Yeah.
Like, because I can remember bits and pieces, but not everything.
Yeah.
And
sounds like me when I'm drunk. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy. Yeah.
So you remember bits and pieces. You say you're sorry for being a dick. And
Yeah,
then,
I mean,
so as you become more coherent, then what happens?
That nurse that took care of me, her name was Emily, and I think it was Emily Carp. Because I remember because she
Last
saw
name,
my Carp.
Yeah. So it was probably just easier to remember because you like carp fishing or carp shooting. Then.
Yeah, well, no, because I have a tattoo of a koi fish.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I love your tattoo." And yeah,
Did you have a badass tattoo?
And she actually became one of my good friends there.
Awesome.
And anyways, so then I started chemo the next day, and I remember or actually that night after I came out of the surgery, you and everyone started showing up, like all my friends, and like I remember because like I came out of that, and then I had to go do other tests like heart tests and I was just running all over the freaking hospital doing all these damn tests, and I remember she's not a nurse, she's like a CNA is sort of, or no, an assistant nurse.
Okay.
Or like she's assistant to the nurse. Like a CNA, I think. Is it a CNA?
Certified nurse's assistant?
Yeah.
So possibly.
Yeah, that could be it. I remember like she was pushing me back in, and she says, "You're quite the popular kid around here." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And she opened that door, and I was like, "Holy fuck, it's like a high school reunion. Like, all my high school friends are there. Like, I've got all my friends from work." And, like, I was like, "Holy shit, what's up, guys?" And, like, I was so happy to have you guys there. I was like...
I bet, dude.
Oh, I was more than happy. Like, I was thrilled to the bone. Like, I was so happy. It's like, finally, I got my best friends here, Yeah. It was more like, and at that time, I completely forgot everything. Because I was so happy everyone was there. And I remember freaking Jake Nelson and everyone like had the little envelopes, and they had like coins in it, and they're like, chemo's expensive, but here's like 40 cents, man. I was just like laughing so hard, and like, oh god, like all you guys. And like, wait, wasn't it someone like one of you guys pulled a flower from the garden on the way up, and they're like, "You can't bring that in here." Like,
yeah. I don't remember who we were with, but someone did that, and they said, "Oh yeah, you can't bring that in here. It's the camera." Oh fuck, okay. No, we bought you flowers. I think we bought you and brought you flowers, and we couldn't give you them because they're like, "You can't bring that in here." I'm like, fuck. Yeah, but anyways, yeah.
Yeah, like I remember everyone in there, and at that time I was nice and calm, and just everything was good, and. Then I started going through chemo. The first treatment, when it went into my body, at first I didn't really know, but like what really affected me the most was the high dosage of steroids they put me on. That really affected my body. Mm-hmm. Because I remember I remember everything being so cloudy. And I was just like, I hate this feeling. I don't know what the hell's going on. And like, everything was so cloudy. And then I think I was there for 2 to 3 weeks. When I was very first diagnosed. And I remember being there and just, I was, like, everything was so cloudy. And then when the chemo took effect, like, I didn't start throwing up. It was a good couple weeks until like I started throwing up.
Yeah.
Basically what happened is like, I was like a vegetable, basically. Like, I just sat there and did not know what the hell was going on. Because the doctor said, basically, the reason why I'm feeling like that is because my body's getting used to all the chemo and all the stuff they're pumping in my body, and I still had the cancer in my body. And so I just remember it was the worst ever. Like, it sucked. And they said the first month is going to be the worst of it. And I remember being in there, like I came home for the first time, and I actually, after like I came home from like the first, when I was first admitted into the hospital, like I was home for like a couple days, and I I was home, and I just didn't feel like when I was on my way home, I was so sick, and then I felt like a vegetable. Like, I couldn't. Everything was so cloudy. Like, my whole body was just like tingling, and like I was just, everything was off. And all I wanted to do was just lay there. I had zero energy.
Yeah.
Like, I just did not want to move at all. And I remember like coming home. And on my way home, I felt like I had weird feelings, like I shouldn't be going home right now. Like, something's gonna happen. It was weird.
Uh-huh.
And like literally a couple days later, I start waking up with these like brain splitting migraines. Like, it was bad. Like, I just couldn't take it any, like, the worst migraines you could ever like think of.
Yeah.
And basically what happened was one of the types of chemo that I got, one of the side effects is
migraine,
blood clots.
Oh, wow.
And I had a blood clot in my brain.
I didn't know that.
And so that's why,
so what
that's
happened?
deadly in itself.
Yeah, of course.
Like, a blood clot in the brain.
So you just
that's
added
very
more
deadly.
to your...
That just added more. And I remember just being so sick, and just, I was so, like, I just...
Did you want to die?
Like, I was just like, fucking do whatever it takes to get this pain. Like, it was unbearable, this pain. Like, I've had migraines. Like, I had, like, growing up, my mom and dad both get migraines. So, I've had migraines growing up, but this was, like, worse than any other migraine. Like, I remember waking up one morning at my house, and I literally had to crawl on my hands and knees to get to... the house phone so I could call my mom. Because I was just in so much pain. Because, like, I don't know why I didn't go for my cell phone, but I just said, like, house phone. Like, I don't know, yeah. But I was crawling on my hands and knees, and I remember, like, I was literally screaming when I woke up. And my mom rushed home, and then, like, from work, and then, like, picked me up and went up to the hospital, and they did they gave me medicine, and they did a brain scan, and they said, you have a blood clot in your head.
God damn.
And I was just like, fuck. Like, I have cancer, now I have a blood clot in my brain.
Yeah.
And so they said, you're being admitted again. And they said, we have no idea how long you're going to stay here for, but you have to stay here until we see that the medicine, the blood thinners are going to start working. And I couldn't... The blood thinner I was taking, it wasn't through a pill. It was through a shot. It was
wow.
I did every morning and every night. I had to give myself a shot in the stomach.
Great.
And that lasted a long, long, long time. I mean, I can show you pictures of my bruising on my stomach. It was insane. It was bad. The bruising, so that added to the whole effect and everything, but. I just was going through chemo and doing the whole blood clot treatment thing. And the first year was rough. It was really, really rough because, I mean, beforehand, I was used to, like, going outside 24/7. I was such an active kid, and then now, when I was diagnosed, everything stopped. Like, I was basically living in my house, and I hated that. But
I don't blame you.
I just, like, because I remember not having any energy where I wanted to go outside and just sit in a lawn chair and feel the sun.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And my parents had to help me down the stairs because I didn't have strength to, like, walk down my stairs. And so they helped me outside, and I just remember just thinking, like, this has got to end. So the first year was very tough. Yeah, so basically in a nutshell, yeah, like, the blood clot eventually went away. And that was, I mean, it was probably 9 to 10 months of of the shots. So and then I was doing chemo on top of that. So I would go in different, like, spurts where, like, I would get chemo once a week, and then I would go every 10 days, and then go back to once a week, and then every couple of weeks I would have to do a lumbar puncture, which is a spinal tap.
Ow.
And basically, what it is, for people who don't know what either of those are, they're the same thing, but it's where you lay on your side, and the doctors put a needle into your back, into your spine, pull out spinal cord fluid, and in my case, replace the fluid with chemo. Because your spinal column and your brain separate from your body. So in order to treat the chemo or to treat cancer, because since it's leukemia and it's in your blood and bone marrow and everything, they had to do the lumbar puncture and inject the chemo through my spine, so the chemo would go in, like, up my spine and around my brain. So I mean, like, so I was doing that on top of, like, it's called intrathecal. I'm butchering the word. Intrathecal chemotherapy. So I was doing, like, chemo through my port, then I was doing the spinal taps on top of that, and then I had oral chemo I had to take, and then there's even times where, like, I had to leave my port accessed, and my dad had to inject me with chemo at home. So I was doing all kinds of chemo, and, like, I remember just being so sick. And I remember a couple times where I stopped, like, I was counting how many times I'd throw up. I stopped counting at 12. Like, 12 times I stopped counting at 12. I was just like, I'm done. And, like, I remember just constantly throwing up. And yeah, but now, like, everything's great, but actually, like, about halfway, or let's say a month or two into my treatment, there's a big test that they have to do where they, like, do this test and they send it back to Washington. Mm-hmm. And it's a huge test just to see how the cancer's doing. Like, they told me it's a huge test, and they said if it's still there, it's not good. And I was just like, oh shit. But it came back and I was completely clean. Like,
hell yeah.
I was 100% clean. There was no sign of leukemia in my body. The doctor said, that's great. Like, that's what we want. So you're in remission now. But they said, you need to finish the 3.5-year treatment, because if it comes back, it's coming back with vengeance. And I said, yeah, like, of course I'm going to continue my treatment. So technically, 15 days into my treatment, I was cancer-free. But the doctors couldn't tell me until they ran that test. So they ran the test, everything was fine, and they said, you're cancer-free. But if we stop now, studies have shown, like, it comes back. So they said, just stick through it, do the chemo. Because I was an adult at the time, so I could, like, make my own decisions. And they said, just finish the treatment. That way it doesn't come back. And I agreed. I was like, I'm going to make sure it's dead.
Yeah. Good.
So it hasn't came back since then, there was all these hurdles that I had to get through. Like, there was the feeding tube thing. That brain clot was a huge one. Like, not only did I survive that, but, I was going through cancer and I was going through a brain clot, and that's very, like, both of those are extremely deadly. yeah, and then basically like everything was going good. Yeah, and like now I'm up to the point where I have 6 months left of treatment, and basically right now it's just maintenance chemo where I go in once a month, and they just give me a little shot of chemo through my port, and they said it's good to see you. So instead of like hours and hours and hours being pumped full of chemo, now it's only like it's down to maybe a half an hour.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. I mean, there was even times where I had to stay. There was a time where I had to get pumped full of chemo for 24 hours straight. And then I had to stay in the hospital for like 10 days after and basically pee out the chemo. That is called methotrexate. And people with arthritis actually get methotrexate as well. But my dose was so high and it was being pumped through me that they had to make sure like I was peeing it out and everything was okay, because it can cause like failure, like all kinds of failure to your.
Sure, you're putting poison in you, man.
Yeah. So I had to do that for 2 months. Being pumped full. I'd go 24 hours full of chemo, and then I'd have to stay about 7 to 10 days in the hospital. And then once I was low enough, then they'd send me home for 2 weeks, and I'd come back and do the same thing again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did that for 2 months. Now it's just been great. Like,
remission.
Yeah, now I've been remission, I've been in remission for a while. Now I'm in maintenance chemo. I have my energy back. I have my hair back.
Yeah.
I can do the things I love now. Like, I can go snowboarding. I can go hunting and fishing and do all my things on my own again. And I still can't work full time because the way our fucking government is and the insurance thing. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
Dude, the insurance in America, the whole fucking joke, the medical. I don't care about Obamacare. I don't care about this. I mean, we're making strides to get to that point, but it's a fucking absolute joke.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's a fucking joke. That's all.
Yeah.
We have a comment really quick. I'm going to read it. I put it off for a minute, but her name. I hope I'm not butchering this. Her name's Holiday. She just wants to say that I am on my 3rd radiation treatment. Hold on, I've got to really read this. I'm going to move this mic real quick. For the metastatic disease. Metastatic. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Disease. I was living with a donor. I was living with a donor for some. Oh, what? Oh, I was a living donor. Sorry, for someone who needed a liver transplant, and now due to the medication they gave me, I got this disease. It's nice to know that I'm still not alone.
Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Like, I had to do radiation, like 2 weeks of radiation.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you have to go through this. Like, the best of luck to you. Like, I know you, like, radiation, I'm not, like, it sucked for me because I had to do it, like, they had to target the radiation in my head. I don't know where they have to target, for you. I wish you the best luck. Like, and I know you're going to pull through this, but definitely don't give up. Like, radiation's, it's not terrible. I'd honestly rather do radiation than chemo. Chemo, for me, was the worst. Radiation, it just gave me really bad migraines. And then, like, I eventually got over that. But I only had to do it for 2 weeks. But definitely hang in there. Just, you're not alone. Don't ever think you're alone.
Marijuana? Try marijuana, maybe?
Just keep your head up. Like, don't ever give up the fight. Whatever's going to happen, just don't give up the fight. Always stay strong. And I'm
get up, stand up,
yeah.
Don't give up the fight.
No, I'm sure you've heard this from many people, but just stay strong, stay positive. That's a huge thing. That's like fighting like any disease, fighting cancer, fighting
laughter,
any disease.
Dude. I say laughter. If exactly. And again, here I am saying but you yourself, or whatever. Say I get in the same situation you are. Here's what I'm doing. 1, I'm going to smoke marijuana, like I said. 2, I'll do the radiation or whatever they're going to give me chemotherapy as much as possible that I can. That it's going to clear me out. Number 3 is I'm going to fucking watch every funny movie in the entire world. I will be on YouTube 24/7. I will be watching the most positive, funny, fucked up, hilarious comedians, the most fucked up movies, anything that makes me laugh all day, every day. Only positive people around me, only people who are looking for the forward. I understand that people are going to be sad, cry, whatever, but cut that shit out. Don't let me know about it. As far as I know, the second they tell me that I have whatever, I'm already cured. I'm going for it. It's already cured in my head. What I'll do is I'll do the treatment like I'm already in, what is it? When you find out that you're in the off stage, that it's killed, but continue.
Like, freak.
I just forgot the word.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm already in remission is what I would do. So just be positive. Watch The Secret. I'm all about that law of attraction stuff. But really the deal is this. Your brain being happy, positive, it always is going to cure your sicknesses.
Well, what was a huge thing for me?
So much faster.
Surround yourself with happy people. Surround yourself with things that make you happy. Like,
yeah, man.
A ton of my friends and family were giving me cards, get well cards, and making me this stuff, and I kept that around my room because when I'd wake up every morning, I saw that and it said, I have people to fight for. I have to fight for these people. Yeah, and just surround yourself with people, and just be happy. And I know there's tough shit, and I'm very sorry, that for anyone who has to go through this stuff, I'm very sorry. Just basically surround yourself with happy things. Be happy as much as you can. Don't ever think that the worst is going to happen. Just say, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm very sorry for everything that has happened to you. And now I'm on your side, so stay strong. I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers. Definitely, just stay strong. Don't give up. Because there was times when I thought
this is it.
No, I was just this is bullshit. To me, this is major bullshit. I remember just there's a couple times I'd sit in bed and just start crying, saying, a year I'm being robbed of
some good years.
Some good years, sure. And in high school, I never drank. I never went out and partied. No, I was a good kid.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? How the fuck did I get this?
Yeah. The biggest thing, and I'm atheist or whatever, but don't ever think that God cursed me, or it's that I was a good kid. Why me? That's the normal that's the normal thing for any human being to start going to is why me? Why not the asshole, the douchebag? Why not? And it's silly to do that. But here's what. Holiday. I hope I'm saying that right still again. Just commented back. Let me read this real quick. She said, the doctors are targeting my liver. My son was the one who needed part of my liver. She said, thank you for the positive words. Nighttime is the worst time till I found this station. Thank you so much. I have no choice but to stay positive. My son says I am a superhero because I am still here and smiling for him. That's totally all right.
That is amazing. Definitely fight for your son. Just
fight for yourself. Fight for your son. Fight for fucking everything.
Exactly. Fight for
you
everything.
Need to be. It's already gone. Just again, imagine it's all gone. Yeah. Sorry, Kevin's got to run out for a second. But no, seriously. Well, first off, thank you, and thank you for saying that this station is obviously making you happy in some sort. This is making you whatever. But I really, really do love your kind words, obviously. Another thing is definitely if you need some happiness and some positivity, you should definitely listen to my other podcast episodes. This one's good and all, but fucking if you want to laugh and have a good time and you want some just positive, good life advice, I'm all about that stuff. I know I may come off different, and I'm definitely not. Who is that fucking guy? Fuck it. I'm not all about that. I'm a little bit different than your normal guy. Who would be a motivational speaker. That's what it is. But I'm all about motivation. I'm all about positive lifestyle, law of attraction, positive psychology. I love that shit. And there's tons and tons of cool studies and some things that I talk about in some other podcasts and other guests that I've talked about. You're going to pull through this shit. You're fine. Everything's going to be a okay holiday. But thank you for commenting and saying stuff.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, like, it's just stay positive. Like, you're going to pull through this. Like, just have that mindset. Like, you got this, just have that mindset, and you are a hero. Like, you are a rock star.
Well, the second you said, like, as I'm listening to Kevin here talk, he's telling his story and these things. And then when you said, for some reason, I thought, okay, I could do this. And then when you said the spinal thing, all of a sudden I'm like, I think I can't do this. I don't think I mean.
Well, they actually, so like, I know for a while they couldn't put you out, like with an anesthesiologist, they couldn't knock you out.
Really?
Now they're allowed to do it. I don't know why, but
So say,
the
knock
reason
me
why,
the fuck out, man.
Yeah, so they knocked me out. The reason being is like what I was told is because you have to lie completely still, and it takes them, like, if you're being tested, I think they test, is it meningitis? I think
probably.
That's how they test from like certain diseases through a spinal tap. They usually won't knock you out for that. They just roll you on your side, poke, and then drain the spinal fluid, and then you're done. But with my situation, since they're doing chemo, they have to
take it out and put it in.
They have to take out a certain amount of spinal fluid. They have to measure it, to make sure it's the right amount. And then they have to put the chemo back in. It's because it's all scientifically, and so I'm out for quite a while. And so they just want to make sure that you're 100% still. So
yeah,
I mean,
both of you guys are fucking superheroes in my eyes, man. It's the way your emotions were reading, Kevin, when you were retelling your story about like the car sitting in the doctor's office. So you remember the exact time and date, everything to a T. It brought some scary emotions to me, man. It's
still hard. I mean, talking about it. I mean, I mean, obviously I still get teared up over it. It's kind of. Yeah, I mean, just because the painful moments, that just basically it's just seeing the pain that my family saw, like, it sucks. And like all my friends and family, just everyone was like, all of a sudden it just threw a huge loop in everyone's world, and I was just like, it hurt me. Just like, yeah, it was just hurt, and like. Everyone has played a huge part in getting better. Like, you have all my friends. Like, there's countless numbers of people I can have to thank, and like, even like, my ex-girlfriend, she's been, like, she helped me through some really tough times. She's a great person still. And, and the girl I'm dating now, like, I'm head over heels for her. She's like, I'll say she's the love of my life. Yeah. I absolutely love her to death,
Good, man.
Nicole, if you're listening, I absolutely love you.
There you go. Holiday has a quick question for you. She's asking if you have ever had radiation, which you said you have.
Yes.
What were some of the side effects, she asks?
So for me, I only had to do it for 2 weeks. So I'm not doing it. I wasn't doing it for a very long time. But I got very bad migraines. Very, very bad migraines. And because it was the radiation, they were targeting my head.
Was it for the blood clot?
No, it's just
it was for cancer
because
stuff.
Since my lip that's
numb, right, yeah.
They
didn't want it to go any further.
They wanted to kill all the cancer cells in my head, basically, because you know how your brain has all the like cracks in it, and like,
yeah.
So the fluid, like the chemo fluid, went through a spinal tap, it just goes around it. But the radiation can actually get in those cracks and everything like that, and actually kill the cancer. So it's just a precaution. And since my lip went numb, they figured there's a good chance that the leukemia could be hiding out in there. So yeah. Anyway, that's why I had to do radiation. But yeah, they targeted my head, and I had I was very, very tired too. I remember I would do my treatment, and the treatment would maybe last 10 minutes. It was very short. I mean, it could be different for you. But I remember just like coming home and crashing, and I was basically, it was more dead tired. I was extremely tired. I didn't feel like sick to my stomach, but just, I did have very bad migraines. That was the biggest thing. Just migraines and just being extremely tired. Like, you just have zero energy. And hair loss. Like, I know chemo causes that, but chemo, like, my hair would thin, and I would because it just comes out in chunks. It's just so your hair just thins out. So like, I would shave my head and everything, but I still would have a little fuzz that stayed over. Radiation made me completely bald, like 110% bald. Like,
really,
it was because there's a time where they were lining up on my chemo.
Yeah.
So I was slowly getting my hair back, and so I kind of had a hairdo going on. I was like, sweet, slowly getting my hair back, and I started doing radiation, and literally it was gone. Like I'm talking gone. Like, it was like, literally, you know those, for like pet hair, like you roll up and down. The
sticky things, yeah.
Yeah, the sticky things you can roll up and down your clothing and you get all the hair off. Mm-hmm. When I started losing my hair that bad, I literally took one of those and rolled it across my head.
It would come off.
Because it came off so easily. Instead of shaving it, like, I just rolled that like over my head a couple of times, and I was completely bald.
That's awesome. And you used to have long hair too.
Oh yeah,
way long hair, dude. All right,
that metal look down to the freaking T, long hair, tattoos. Oh yeah.
I think we're going to wrap this podcast up. I just want to say thank you to Holiday for going out of her way to message us here on the live chat and talk to us about her, or her or him. Sorry, I don't even know if that was clarified. But just the fact that you commented and we're talking about, your situation. And I think it's awesome to bring it up.
Yes, thank you.
And you're going to pull through. No way. Jake Allred.
Well, no, Jake that was commenting earlier.
Oh, yeah, duh. Jake from Australia.
Thanks,
Love you, man. You're an awesome guy. Next, obviously, I want to thank Kevin Shaw here. We've been trying to plan this for a long. We've talked about this for a long time, and I've always flaked or the days didn't work out.
There's always been something on the.
But we got down to it, dude. We didn't even plan this tonight, and then it worked perfectly. And I'm so glad to get you on the podcast, man. I don't think I've ever had more of an emotional, almost me crying podcast ever, out of my 49 podcasts that I've done. Holiday, you're very welcome. But yeah, I just want to really just say thank you, Kevin. Thanks for beating cancer.
Anytime.
Thanks for telling and sharing your story. Thanks for getting emotional. Thanks for, being honest about it and giving others hope, man. I hope a lot of other patients or people or those who are affected or maybe family members and stuff can, nobody knows what you're going through. And you dove us, just even a little skim of what you had to go through.
Yeah.
But it's nice enough to know for me to be, obviously it should show gratitude for those who don't have it and gratitude for those who do, that Kevin won. You can happen. Anyone can beat this thing.
Definitely.
You just, again, you got to stay positive. Just do it.
Definitely. And, who else is ever listening and is going through a tough time similar to this? Don't give up. Just stay positive. There's always hope. Just don't ever give up. Just fight for your loved ones, just with anything. There's any amount of trouble. Just don't ever give up. There's always hope out there. And Holiday, if I'm saying that right, stay positive. You're going to be fine. I'm definitely on your side. You've got this. Stay very positive. Thank you, everyone. Just stay positive.
Beautiful. Any shout outs? You want to give a shout out? You give a shout out to your girlfriend?
Basically, just all my friends. Like, thank you guys for everything. Friends and family. You guys have been a huge help. It would take hours for me to name off.
Go through everyone.
Yeah.
You're smart probably not to pick out one then.
Well, everyone, this has been such a great experience. I love this. Everyone that's listening, I love you all,
Good, man.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, so
it's positive.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Kevin, thank you again. Everyone who tuned in, listened to the live, thank you. And again, you can subscribe on iTunes at Walking Among Apes. Check out walkingamongapes.com for a ton of our blogs. All of our past episodes are on there. I'll pop this one up later if you chimed in later or whatever. For any situation, it'll be on the website tomorrow. And then check out our blogs. We have tons of blogs, and support our podcast. You can donate on the website, on the homepage if you scroll down, because we do this really for free. And I would love for cool donations just to keep this thing going. The more donations, the longer we can keep doing this, because it's a little pricey. But thanks for tuning in, you guys. Go to walkingamongapes.com. Follow me on Instagram, Mr. Young Millionaire. Kevin, do you have an Instagram?
I do not.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, no,
All right.
I'm late with times.
It's okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for
All
tuning in.
right, thanks,
Peace
guys.
out.
Hit 'em with a little ghetto gospel.
Those who wish to follow me,
My ghetto gospel.
I welcome with my hands. And the red sun sinks at last into the hills of gold. And peace to this young warrior without the sound of guns.
If I could recollect before my hood days, I sit and reminisce, thinking of bliss of the good days. I stop and stare at the